Welcome to the Random Green Podcast. On today's podcast episode, I want to talk about a topic that would bring joy and amazement to you listeners. You listeners will be blown away with awe and wonder after I am through. Well, okay, I'll cut to the chase. You know, it's really nothing special and really not an amazing podcast. Well, it is an amazing podcast because have you listened to... Okay, I'm not going to go there. Other podcasts are great and they're syndicated and they're maybe in the future I'll get this podcast syndicated. But in the meantime, I will talk to you guys about Trailer Park Boys. Now, I don't know if you've seen the latest Trailer Park podcast/video on YouTube, but their podcast, there was their 55th podcast. Their most recent podcast was the 55th podcast. Now, on this YouTube channel, what episode number do you think this is? What number do you think it actually is? It is episode 55. Yes, 55. And I was thinking to myself, I should do a podcast because Trailer Park Boys just had their 55th episode, 55th podcast episode. And I'm going to have the 55th. Isn't that just amazing? Wow, you think the planets would just stop their rotation right now in the galaxy and just give a big, huge wow to everybody. Literally. All the planets just say wow, so everybody in every language, so everybody can understand what what the planets are saying. Okay, I'm being a little facetious and sarcastic, but that's how it is on the Random Green TV YouTube channel, where there's live streams, podcasts, shorts, regular videos, and well, anyway, it's how it is on the Random Green channel. Again, if you're just joining this podcast, well, then you probably are just waking up. No, I don't think this is like the worst podcast. Now, getting to the point, which is kind of hard when you're running a random channel, literally called the Random Green channel, and when there's randomness, too random for you, it's hard to get to the point. But I will get to the point with Trailer Park Boys. Now, Trailer Park Boys, they should bring back the show. No, literally, they should bring it back to Netflix. I think it was a Netflix original. Netflix picked it up. It was originally Canadian, because it's based out of Canada, Nova Scotia, and obviously in a trailer park. But I think 90% of the individuals that have seen Trailer Park Boys, their favorite character is. Their favorite color is orange and green and blue and red and black and white and silver. No. And yellow and beige and no. Just kidding. Okay, yeah. I lost my train of thought. No, I didn't actually lose my train of thought. I was getting off in a tangent. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the Trailer Park Boys, they should bring it back. They should start another season. What do you call it? I was just thinking of the word to call, not refurbish, but to rerun it. I'm not rerun it, but to get back into it. Kind of like, they started up, and then that's what happened, I think, from like 2007, 2008 time frame to about 2012, 13, 14, somewhere around that time, where they had like, 5 years, a good 5 years, 2007, I think, in 2007 to 2013. So if I might be wrong, but 5-6 years of having no episodes, and They should really bring it back. It would be awesome. Now, I think they're up there in age. I mean, like I say, they're not. I think they're about 50, 55 in that range. I think, honestly, I think Rob Wells. I'm sorry, I apologize. I said his real name. Ricky is about 50, 51. And Julian is about 52. And and Bubbles, of course, he's about 50, 52, 54. And, he's up there. I mean, it's not like he's really, really young anymore, but that's still a decent time where he can come back and, heck, even make another 10 years out of that show. Really, in all reality, there's actors and actresses that are doing, I shouldn't say actresses, I think they're just called actors now. I don't know. No, I'm not being facetious on that, actually. I really think that you're just supposed to call everyone just actors, no matter what, if they're male or female. So you're supposed to call them actors. I think I heard that a while ago. That's actually been kind of an old news, but it's new news to you, maybe not. But it's like this. They could easily, like, there's actors out there that are 70 years old, 80 years old, still doing regular stuff. So there's plenty of, and I don't know what it is, what they can't, maybe, and you don't know the whole story. It'd be nice to have a crystal ball and know what the heck exactly is going on. Do they just lose? Do they get bored with it or what? I mean, you quit it and then you're going to get bored with something else. I mean, that's just kind of part of life. I made a video or a short, whatever, that explained that, hey, boredom is just kind of part of life. And fans are getting bored not having the show around. I mean, I really like that show. I mean, I remember about 6 years ago, going on 6 years now, I started watching it back like 2018. That's when I started watching Trailer Park Boys. I remember I remember hearing about it, prior to about 5 years ago, but it was like more like probably the first time I ever heard Trailer Park Boys was 10 years ago. But again, I read up on all the stuff, and it's one amazing show, and it's one of those shows that's it's silly, it's dumb, stupid, but it's good. Kind of like the Random Green Channel, kind of like the podcast and the live streams, the shorts. There's no, it's all done by chance and randomness, and that's what randomness is. That's what the Random Green Channel is all about. It's not. It's going to be a logical pattern, which, it's all good. But they got to bring that show back because, here's the thing. Here's a couple impersonations I got. And I'm not the best impersonator of Ricky, or not Ricky, but Bubbles. He goes, decent. That's not, it's terrible. But I like how some of the stuff he says where he goes, maybe I do, and maybe I don't. A terrible impersonation, I know, but give me credit. I wish, and I've said it, and I repeat myself. Come on, bring the show back. I don't know if I'm getting you excited about the show if they ever bring it back. Now, I don't think honestly, they did have cartoons for a while. They did have animated stuff. They did have animated series for a while, and then they took that down, or at least the last episode. It's been, or last season of the animated series has been done for a little while. So maybe there's something in the works where they'll have the episodes coming back, which would be totally awesome. It would be decent. Be great. And Bubbles come back and sing a song, his awesome songs about. Oh man, he makes them. That's one of the, like I said, it's one of the most shows where it's I think it's the silliest show you can actually pay attention to throughout. I mean, you can take it seriously. It's the most unserious show where you can probably take serious. I mean, not literally, they're acting, but you can get into it. And there's a lot of shows like that, but this one's really good. And I wish they would bring it back. I love the Trailer Park Boys. And it's great. And it would be nice where they would get all the characters back from like the first season. And I know like some have passed away, like Jim Leahy, and that's probably the big kicker right there is when Leahy passed away, literally in real life. That's when it really went down, and that's when they probably didn't want it. That's when they really got probably about depressed about making it, because without him, that was the king of the show, even though he wasn't like the most popular. Because Randy, I mean, speaking of Leahy, Randy was a good character too. He always had a shirt on because obviously he couldn't wear a shirt because he had some kind of infection or something, or that shirts got. And I don't know if you remember that episode where the lady was riding on the bus, and you could tell it was acted, the script. You could totally tell they did it on purpose. It wasn't. He put stuck his stomach out, and the lady hit her head in the Randy's. I think it was Randy's. Yeah, Randy's name. It hit him in the stomach, and it's a great show. And I'm gonna, and I think that's probably the nail in the coffin right there. No pun intended. When Leahy passed away, that took the show down. But it would be really nice, because it's been 5-6 years since he's passed away, and it would be nice to see those guys really do another episode, or at least even one series. It doesn't have to be continual, but just to maybe even a couple years down the road, if we're still around, we'll be able to see it. So that'd be really cool to see. To have the Trailer Park Boys get back into it and make episodes, at the very least, cartoons. Is that's what they did. But if Leahy passed away in real life, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but if he passed away and they did animated series, but maybe he was in the animated series too. I could be wrong on that one, but if I remember correctly, he wasn't in that animated series because the voice sounded a lot different. I could be wrong, but all I'm saying is it would be great if Trailer Park Boys could come back and do a show, a couple seasons, even if it's one season. But anyway, thanks for listening to the Random Green Podcast. All right, later.